False allegations are very dangerous, especially during a time of war. Kind of like how the Ukraine quickly pointed at Russia for allegedly blowing up their own Nord Stream pipeline. They're now doing the same thing for the recent explosion that destroyed the Kakalova hydroelectric power plant dam. Now, Russia is saying that this is Ukraine's doing, and you know who agrees with them? Well, none other than Tucker Carlson. What a way to start his new series on Twitter, right? The debt ceiling limit included the clawback of almost $30 billion of unspent pandemic relief money that some say could have been used to help the American people. Although there are already talks as to how this money will be spent. Now, if you were to decide, how would you use that money? It's now come out that President Joe Biden, during his time as VP, allegedly used several shell companies to funnel money from foreign companies into his family's bank accounts. Now, I'm saying allegedly because I myself haven't seen the actual file, but again, this is what the whistleblower is saying that happened. Do you guys believe him or her? Now, it's also being said that the House Oversight Committee will be holding FBI Director Christopher Wray in contempt of Congress. Man, you guys think that he'd risk this much for a file that says nothing? Or is he doing his best to protect the Biden family? Now, this may hit the president's already fragile approval rating, and one Republican senator is saying that even Democrats will turn to former President Donald Trump when the country faces some serious problems. Wait, aren't we already facing some serious problems right now? You mean we're going to see more? Things are going to get worse? You know how we do here. We're getting straight to the facts. Also, for the very best way to invest in gold or silver, check out the links in the description down below of this video. All right, guys, so the White House must be feeling just a little bit of sense of panic as the House Oversight Committee is desperately pushing to get a hold of a file that alleges that then VP Joe Biden was involved in a $5 million bribery scheme wherein money was exchanged for policy decisions. So here's what House Oversight Committee James Comer had to say about it. Quote, FBI officials confirmed that the unclassified FBI-generated record has not been disproven and is currently being used in an ongoing investigation. The claims made in the document are consistent with what we found and disclosed to you all in Romania. It suggests a pattern of bribery where payments would be made through shell accounts and multiple bank accounts. End quote. The committee also found that within several years, the Biden family business had received at least $10 million from business schemes in Romania and China, an act that Comer says is money laundering. Now, they're also saying that they're going to hold FBI Director Christopher Wray in contempt of Congress as he repeatedly dismissed the file and did not provide it to the full House committee. Democrats aren't very happy with this decision, and they're basically pushing back on the contempt vote, with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries saying that it would be, quote, lawlessness and disorder to do such an act. So what are your thoughts on this, guys? Is all of this an attack on the Biden administration, or is this the truth that needs to be investigated further? You know what else needs to be investigated right now? The destruction of a power plant dam in Ukraine. Why? Well, because both sides are now saying that the other one did it.
Kyiv and Moscow are blaming each other for the destruction of a major dam in a Russian-controlled area that has unleashed heavy flooding and forced major evacuations in an area close to a nuclear power plant. CBS News foreign correspondent Deborah Pata is following the very latest and has all the details.
Drone footage shown on President Zelensky's social media channel revealed the extent of the damage to the Kakhovka power plant. The blast smashed through the dam wall, resulting in this massive breach. Water from the Dnipro River is now gushing downstream in the direction of the southern city of Kherson, raising fears of massive flooding in low-lying areas, forcing some residents to evacuate.
Kiev insists that this was a terrorist attack by the Russians, while the Kremlin's spokesperson says that Ukraine did this to try to impact the water supply of Crimea. Now, Tucker Carlson had his own opinion about this, basically basing it upon who it hurts the most. Now, in a post on Twitter titled Episode 1, which basically means his first episode after being ousted from Fox, Carlson said this, quote, "The Kakhovka Dam was effectively Russian. It was built by the Russian government. It currently sits in Russian-controlled territory. The dam's reservoir supplies water to Crimea, which has been for the last 240 years home of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. Blowing up the dam may be bad for Ukraine, but it hurts Russia even more. And for precisely that reason, Ukrainian government has considered destroying it." In December, the Washington Post quoted Ukrainian generals saying his men have fired American-made rockets at the dam's floodgate as a test strike. So really, once the facts start coming in, it becomes a lot less of a mystery what might have happened to the dam. And a fair person would conclude that Ukrainians probably blew it up, just as you would assume they blew up Nord Stream, the Russian natural gas pipeline last fall. And in fact, the Ukrainians did do that, as we now know. end quote. Carlson's video is now at more than 40 million views as of this recording. Wow. Do you guys think that he makes sense with this idea? Any takes on this news? And what's your take on today's economy? Are you doing better or worse compared to a few years ago? Republican Senator Tommy Tuberfield says that President Biden isn't equipped to help us as things become worse, forcing Democrats to turn away and instead support someone with experience, someone who knows what he's doing with the economy. And that someone, according to the senator, is former President Donald Trump. President Biden has a dismal 33% approval rating when it comes to economic issues, and more Americans are now feeling the ill effects of the Fed's continued fight against inflation as more layoffs are done while lending standards are being tightened. I gotta ask, because I'm always open to you guys' opinions here. Who do you trust more with our economy? Now, it doesn't have to be just between Trump or Biden. Go ahead and name whoever you think is capable of getting us out of this mess. Now, since we're already talking about the economy, we cannot avoid talking about money, right? I mean, money makes the world go round, and it's a key factor to keep our worlds turning. That much is for sure. Now, the deal that was made for the debt limit included a lot of things, one of which was touted multiple times by House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, and it's about the clawback of $27 billion in unspent pandemic relief money. Now, just to really drive this point home, they still had $27 billion of money left over from the health crisis, and they chose not to use it. Now, I hope that's clear enough. To be honest with you, I thought it was a whole lot more than $27 billion, but I digress. Now, Shalonda Young, director of the White House Office of Management and Budget, she says that the money will be used to help shore up non-defense spending, saying that, quote, the appropriators will use some of the money to spread around how they see fit. We didn't get into the individual line items in this bill. End quote. So here's something that I really need to address, and it could be just a delay in data, but there's this site that tracks the spending of money set aside from the health crisis. And as you can see in the orange, it's still around $300 billion left. Now, again, it could be a delay, either that or there's a huge discrepancy with the amount of available money that could be used to help the average American people. So what do you guys think? And to be honest, should more be done to help us right now? Given that many people do continue to struggle today, like a lot of people did during the health crisis. Now that they're saying that we're behind it, things are still tough. So go ahead and drop me some comments down below. But let's be real though, we need a lot of help. Inflation isn't cooling down fast enough, and everything is way too expensive. I mean, it's crazy. You can't go out without your credit card now, and even then, some people are maxing it out. But creating a mountain of debt during this time is not a good idea, especially with interest rates as high as they are. This is the time to clean up on your debt. Although, how are we supposed to do that? Well, you can start by improving your cash flow, something that you can attain through a couple of side hustles, maybe a home-based business, or, one of many different small business ideas. Now, if you are thinking long-term, you can check out opportunities in the real estate market, investing in stocks, ETFs, index funds, mutual funds, and it's probably also not a bad idea to have a little gold or silver investments. You guys want to learn more about these things? Then check out the links in the description down below if you guys want to learn more. And at this point, you should see 2 videos above my head. Go ahead and click on these videos right now and check those out. Now, before I go, please don't forget to drop a huge thumbs up for the video, share this video with everyone you know, and subscribe for your daily dose of the truth. Appreciate all the love, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one.